ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to NJPW Puroresu Review. I am your co-host, Andre C. Right over here is the sore princess herself. It's Melba. How you doing, Melba?
I am sore, man. It was a leg day today, and this dumbass decided to go get a second thing of cardio in because I like to self punish or something. I don't know. But my legs are sure sore, my booty is sure on fire, and not for reasons I would like it to be. How are you doing, my friend?
I am great because I haven't done. My cardio today was pushing a lawnmower, so I'm feeling pretty darn good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. So yeah, good day. My first day of my weekend, as it's Monday as we record this. So I'm on my 2 day
Yay.
weekend, and then my other day off later this week. We'll celebrate that on the stream on Thursday. Do not worry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are getting it. We are here to talk some NJPW. Uh, G1 Climax nights 13 and 14. Man, we're almost at the end. It's just crazy. Like it's getting there. Like yeah,
Yes.
which I'm
And
very
let
okay.
me tell you, the ride has been tremendous, but man, are we tired.
Yeah, and the ride doesn't stop for us either because we still have lots of stardom going on for the rest of the summer into the fall. But and there'll still be lots of New Japan for us to cover too. So don't you, ladies and gentlemen, don't you worry. We're gonna have lots and lots of things to talk about.
Yes, yes.
But we are before we get into this, I want to thank all of you, all of the great people checking out the videos here. Please, if you can give the videos a like, a subscribe to the channel, and comment down below because we love to hear from you because we get a lot of great, good commenters here. I don't have my list in front of me. God damn it! Why am I not prepared for things?
I don't know, Andre. Why are you not prepared for
Want,
things?
want to give a shout out to our boy Jason Rutledge. Love you, brother.
Jason.
Ray Z, okay, no one, Lord Koj, the Joe Demetrius
Okay.
Frank, and Common Ground MTG. Thank you all for all the great comments you guys have left here us here on the channel. If you and we want to hear from all of you. So please, if you can, drop a comment down because we want to hear from you. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can learn every time we drop an NJPW, a Puroresu review, a Chop Talk. So yeah, hit the notification bell.
Ding dong.
Hello. And we
Yeah.
get into this. Hello to the G1 Climax, number 13 and 14. We kick it off. And just to preface this, we're not going to go hardcore into the undercard. We're just going to give a quick little summary, and I'm going to have the finishes, and I might have a summary. That's going to be
Mhm.
it. But holy shiitake, Batman! They have Chris Charlton, and Kevin Kelly on camera for the first time, I think, ever. That's not just a
It
random
feels like it.
like of an intro shot because it shows the Japanese commentary team, and they
Yes.
panned over to Chris and Kevin who are talking to the camera. I don't think I personally have ever seen them do it. We
I
saw it
also
on
don't
a.
think I've ever heard Chris Charlton talk so quickly.
Oh jeez, he was so quick. He was so quick there.
He was. It was like a
Well,
chipmunk. He was just going.
yeah, so we get into this. It's the United Empires, Great Khan and Jeff Cobb, the tag team reuniting to take on just five guys, Doki and Taichi. I'm just going to give the finish here. Cobb
Mhm.
hits it at the F5000, according to NJPW Strong Spirits. To Doki. Khan comes in, starts stomping and beating on Doki, applies the Sheep Killer, and then he picks up Doki, swings him into Taichi to take Taichi out, then hits the backbreaker and reapplies the Sheep Killer to get the submission win.
Yeah. This was a fun match. Doki was a big star of this match for me. I mean, that guy, he did not put the weights down that entire time he was off, clearly not. Those arms are huge. And his hair, so luxurious, so silky, so smooth. Did you happen to hear the intro?
I don't remember.
Kevin, or not Kevin, Chris Charlton, lyrical genius that he is, doing brilliant
Oh,
marketing lyrics for
oh, the Just
Just
Five
Five
Guys song.
Guys and their, was it Merrick Hair? Merrick Hair shampoo? So fun. I love that. Um, yeah, that F5000, holy hot shit. Like, Doki just went like, wee, like just
Hmm.
helicoptering across the ring. He's so little though. Jeff Cobb, I mean, arguably not just a heavyweight. I'd say he's a super heavyweight. Um,
Hmm.
Tossing the littlest guy in there. I mean, I didn't. It wasn't surprising he got yeeted as much as he did. I felt that Doki actually held his own really, really well against Cobb.
Hmm.
And I think it was Chris Charlton mentioned that Doki typically using his foot to disarm or get people to let go of him when usually people just like
Hmm.
use a hand or something like that. And it really speaks to the unique style that Doki has there.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there was one point where I think Doki was going for that move. I never remember what it is. It's the one where he like locks the arms and like
Gory
hops your
special.
ankles up to his. What's that?
Gory special.
Gory special. You tried to set up Cobb for that, and I was like, my guy.
Hmm.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but there's no freaking way. A good try though. The Daybreaker attempt two also being denied. I think it was by Jeff Cobb again.
Hmm.
But man, like he was really Doki, the star of this match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, very good fun opener.
So
We move on to Chaos. It's just Hiroki Goto, Yo, and Yoshihashi taking on the Bullet Club's David Finlay, Gato, and Kenta. My entire notes are: I hate war drums, and a headhunter leg sweep combo by Bishamon to Gato, but he fights back against Yo, but Yo hits the super kick and gets the win. That's the entirety of my notes. I hate war drums.
yeah, my first note is I did not miss the war drums.
Hmm.
So I think on this we are united, sir. No pun
Hmm.
intended. Maybe pun intended. Um, Goto's ribs definitely heavily targeted throughout this match. Also, just want to note Gato, new nickname. He's no longer the blacksmith. He's with the bloody hands.
Something like that.
Mm, yeah, it's interesting. We'll see how that one takes, and what kind of marketing he thinks he can do with that one.
Hmm.
His shoes looked utterly ridiculous, though.
Oh
Like,
god.
yeah, they don't look like wrestling shoes. They look like some weird ass boat shoes. I don't know. Kenta in the ring a lot for this match. I felt. I personally really enjoyed it. That hot tag that Yoshihashi got too really fired me up for the rest of the match. Um, yeah, I don't. Oh no, I did. My thing auto corrected, so it has Yo pinning Goto, and I was like, I don't think so. Yo pinning Gato for this one.
Gato.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
this one was that was a match.
Yeah, it was a match.
It was a match. It happened.
We move on to this match. It's Lij's Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito versus House of Torture, Evil Show, and Yuji
Yeah.
Takahashi with Dick Togo. It's the anniversary of Togo's Choppy Choppy Your Pee Pee with Val Venus, according to Kevin Kelly.
Mm,
Jesus Christ. The fact that I just
yay.
said that line on the show, I never thought it.
Moments in wrestling history brought to you by.
Yeah, I love the open top mask of Bushi. It makes him look almost like a different person with the open top mask.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
reminiscent of Starlight Kid and the
No,
Grand Prix.
she copied him. She copied him.
Mm-hmm.
To the end of the match, Shogo pulls Shingo out, distracts the ref while Sho hits Bushi with the wrench, and Evil hits Everything is Evil to Bushi for the win. And that's all I really want to say about that match.
Yeah. There was one point where Shingo took out both Sho and Yujiro that I really liked. The double
Mhm.
lariat. That was pretty cool. There's just a lot of shenanigans in this one that didn't care much for. Um, I enjoyed that Shingo hit the lariat this time instead of the DDT and his back elbow strike combo there that he usually does. But yeah, otherwise yeah didn't really care much for this one, unfortunately.
And you love LAJ. You didn't care much for this one.
Yeah, but like House of Torture, like, as I've mentioned in videos before, it just brings down the quality of everything with their just it's nonsense at this point. It's
Oh,
absolute nonsense.
Very much so. So we move on.
Ooh.
It's El Phantasmo and Togi Makabe against the United Empires, Hanare and Will Ospreay. Again, this was a really fun match. I didn't take notes on the early part. I'm sorry. Um, the end of the match, Hanare's got the Ultima on Makabe, and Ospreay ends up taking out ELP to stop him from interfering.
Mhm.
Hanare lets it go, hits the liver punch. Ospreay hits a hook kick, and Hanare hits a Uranagi for two, but only gets two out of it. And so Hanare hits Streets of Rage, and Hanare gets the pinfall victory on Togi Makabe.
Mhm. Mhm. I didn't take a whole ton of notes on this one. I just felt that Phantasmo and Osprey were definitely having a lot more fun in this one, leading into their match the next night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also felt that Hanari at the end of this match, like going into the finish kind of sequences, very dominant against a usually dominant Makabe Togi. Or sorry, Togi Makabe. I just like how the announcer says it.
Well, he says it's the
Makabe
Japanese way.
Togi.
Well, they again their last name is said first in Japan. That's how it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
we move on to the undercard main event. It's the Gorillas of Destiny, Tamatanga and Tangaloa, with Hiroyo team up with Hiroyoshi Tenzan, taking on the team of Chaos's Kazuchika Okada and Tomohiro Ishii and Hiroshi Tanahashi. The six-man tag team champs are teaming up. End of the match, God is taken out, and the champs end up triple teaming Tenzan with Okada hitting a slam, the high fly flow by Tanahashi, and the sliding lariat by Ishii, who gets the pinfall and the win.
Hmm.
Again, this is one of those matches where like I really liked seeing when Okada was in there with Tama and how he
Hmm.
played off of Loa from the last match, or
Hmm.
how he's playing off of Loa going into their match.
Hmm. Hmm.
Again, I
Hmm.
watched this after I watched the night one and two
Naughty,
main shows,
naughty.
um, and like I really liked how those two played together because again, it was again it's like watching ELP and Will Ospreay. It really gives you that kind of sense of what they're going into next.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm.
I didn't. I had pockets of moments where I enjoyed this match, but overall, this wasn't one of my favorite matches of the night, just because of the lack of cohesiveness that I felt that was happening between the six-man champions. Specifically Ishii, he just kind of almost feels like a third wheel. In the otherwise dream team date that is Tanahashi and Okada. Something I want to touch on in the next night involving Tanahashi and Ishii. We'll talk about that when we get to that. But yeah, Tongalua, yeah, as you mentioned, doing a tremendous against Okada and against Tana in this one. I felt that Tana and him worked very, very cohesively, and then Tongalua kind of works in the same way that I've mentioned Chase Owens works with people, the veterans, if you will, like Tenzon or Tanahashi. I feel confident in his ability when he picks him up that things are going to go the way they're supposed to go, kind of deal.
Yeah,
I really felt that Tenzon, big star in this one, he got all his shit in.
yeah. My whole thing is Tenzon doing okay? Because that man is a fraction of the size he used to be, and the way he was moving, I was a little worried about the guy.
Yeah, I'm very concerned that Tenzon may be the next retiree, if you will, kind of following behind Liger and Nakanishi of the last couple of years. Yeah, I did notice. I mean, he is getting up there, isn't he? In his 50s now.
Yeah, and I'll say I think he looked better in this match than he did on the next night. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
Yeah.
true.
So
Yeah, I
we
have nothing else to add. Yeah.
all right, we're gonna move on. We're into
Oof.
the tournament matches. It's Gabe Kidd, Yoda Suji. Yoda Suji is with Shota Suji. That's what it said on the website. Just go with it.
Oh.
Kid attacks Suji during his entrance. He's beating up on Suji, and Suji walks down the entranceway. I'm very confused because the guy legitimately looked like Suji.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and Kid's beating the hell out of this guy, and Suji comes down, and then he attacks, and hits the T trigger. Um, this guy looked so much like Suji. Like it wasn't just like he got a young lion like Saber did. This guy, and again, he's listed on at least on Cage Match as Shota Suji. instead of Yoda Suji.
Did you find out the information about it?
No, I just grabbed the
He is
video.
legitimately Yoda Suji's twin brother.
I had a feeling that it was their brother or something, but I didn't. I didn't know about that. I just think his name is Shota Suji instead of Yota Suji.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's two of them, Andre.
Melba, whatever, good time.
I mean, I just told Astrid there's hope that we could be sisters.
Suicide dive by Suji, putting Kid into the barricade. Suji whips Kid into the barricade twice more. Kid reverses a power slam into a backdrop on the floor. And Kid attacks the other Suji again and slams him on the real Suji. I like calling it like that. I was writing it this time. Kid gets the mic, says "fuck you" to Suji, and then "fuck you" Suji, like to both. It was great.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Kid's headbutt in the corner, and then him rolling backwards and then coming repacking. I love the way he did that. Just the
Hmm,
bang
hmm.
and then the roll back. I don't like the headbutt itself, but I like the
No.
roll back from it. I really
Yeah.
did like that. It looked really cool. Before he charges back in, hits a layer, and gets the German. Great chop battle in the center of the ring.
Hmm.
Kid yelling, "I'm ready, bitch," before falling to a really hard chop. He goes, "I'm ready, bitch." Bang. And he drops. It was so good.
Maybe not.
It was so good. Suji like goes over to Nakash. I think it was Nakashima, and just pulls his hair tie off his head, and ties up his own hair. Was
Oh
it
yes,
Nakashima?
yes, it was Nakashima. Yeah.
I fucking thought that was awesome. They get into a
Mm,
forearm exchange battle, unloading shots on each other. Suji goes for the headbutt, but Kid gets this beautiful straight right, dropping him. Um, Kid gets that where he runs into the rope chest first, turning around rebound lariat that he does. I love that fucking lariat. Like just
mhm, mhm,
him running in chest first and spinning around and cracking it looks so good.
mhm,
Um, and then he gets two out of that, hits the brainbuster, gets another two. He goes up to the top but misses the moonsault.
mhm.
Gut wrench slam and the moonsault by Suji for two. Then a Falcon Arrow for two. Follows that with the stomp, but he gets getting drop kicked when he's going for the stomp. They get into this hard slap battle in the center, just smacking the living fucking hell out of each other.
Mhm.
Suji kind of wins the slap battle, hits the headbutt, and hits a spear, gets the win, goes to 7 points. Keeping himself alive.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Yes,
So,
he is. I
just for
liked
you,
the. Huh? Huh?
just want to say, Suji finishes the tournament with 7 points. Kid finishes with five.
Ooh,
Yeah,
snap! Wow, take that, Mister Kid. Yeah, the chops in this match were mental. So good. You can see that UK influence coming through in Suji, but you can also see that Lucha Libre, CMLL influence coming through also. It's tremendous the unique styling that he has molded himself into. Um, yeah, see, mini Suji. Oh, someone needs to shove a bar of soap in Gabe Kid's mouth so that he hiccups bubbles. Like, it's just the amount of profanity and
what?
just nonsense that just comes out of his mouth. It's like, you're really, really milking it, man. But the problem is, yeah, you can do that, but they're only going to be allowed to, like, it also they're just gonna need Gabe Kidd on freaking New Japan Strong once in North America before that becomes suddenly a PG show. Like, we get it and swear and do that. I mean, Tamatonga's been doing it for years, but Tamatonga also wasn't dropping an F bomb every other word in his sentence like Gabe Kidd is.
True. Very true.
So yeah, there this did you notice the like camera spot where these two were like sitting down after their little chop battle and they had that like Brock Lesnar Undertaker little bit where
Hmm.
they just start laughing at each other. I got a
That
good
was good.
cackle out of
And like
that.
Suji's laughing like just like a true laugh, and then
Yeah.
Gabe Kid's like it's like a ha like it was like an evil maniacal laugh, and it was
He was
but like
feral. He was
but while
feral.
crazy, it was like evil maniacal, but while he was in the most insane with the most insane eyes, like and going ha 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 ha, ha, and I was just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, nah. But it was a great camera angle and camera spot. I
Very.
really enjoyed that. Yeah, this match was tremendous. I really liked this. It had me at the like edge of my seat until Suji got the pin.
Mhm.
It was that exciting. I
It re-
enjoyed it.
it really was. It was a tremendous match from this.
Hmm.
We move on. Kaito Kiyomiya versus Ren Narita. Really good wrestling start here from both. Kaito getting the dragon screws, applies the Muda figure four early, but Narita does get the ropes. But you can tell Narita really did a good job selling the knee throughout the rest of the match.
Hmm.
First, like you first few minutes, Kaito's really working over the knee. Um, Narita getting the DDT suplex and starts the rear naked choke. And so he was really going to the rear naked choke and the guillotine in this one.
Hmm.
The high angle German with the bridge by Kaito for two, but Narita comes right back and gets the rear naked choke and then gets into the guillotine. And then he slips a suplex into a Cobra twist. But Kaito does eventually get to the ropes, and that Cobra twist looked solid. Um, Narita gets the German suplex, but Kaito blocks the Narita special and hits a beautiful dragon screw. Missile drop kick off the top to the knee, then another dragon screw, and the Moodle figure four is reapplied. The back and forth just between these two is so good. And they're just,
Hmm.
once they got back up from the figure four, the training boots, the elbows, the reversal of each other's moves was so good. Kaito gets the Tiger suplex for two, so he hits the Tiger suplex driver, but again only gets two. So Kaito lines up for the Shining Wizard, comes running in, and Narita pops, grabs him. Narita special over his head into the bridge. One, two, three. Narita steals Kaito Kiyomiya's berth into the finals.
Yeah,
Holy shit, that was great. I know you were disappointed, but
I sure was. One of my last chances to get any points in the SMME. SNME.
trying to get somebody into the finals.
I mean, I'm trying, but gosh diggity dang. I'm still hoping on Kenta. Still hoping.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna get into the quarters. That's for
I
sure.
know.
Mm.
You don't gotta remind me. This was a trip, man. This was a lot of fun. This one I feel like we really got to see Kaido speed up quite a bit. Like the match pace was quite quick on this, despite being quite technical.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. You pretty much mentioned all the moves that I actually did. So that's good. It'll keep this one short.
Perfect. So both these men finish with 6 points.
Correct.
So we move on to I think the match I was most looking forward to on this night, just from a perspective. I'm a big fan of Chase Owens, and I wanted to see him mix it up with Sonata.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
100%.
Sonata has his arm all wrapped up. Chris and
Mhm.
Kevin speculating it could be a minor bicep tear or pulled muscle or something.
Mhm.
And so Chase is demanding a handshake from Sonata. He eventually does, but they each kick each other. Like they both have the same idea. But Chase ends up getting the sweep, but he can't get the Paradise Lock. But gets Sonata down again, and he actually gets him in the Paradise Lock. And you thought this guy just won the world championship with the celebration he had.
Hey, he's been
Yeah.
chasing that thing a hot minute. He finally caught up with it, and now he had world champion in his own frickin' move.
Well, he even goes to Kevin. I beat the world champ, and he's like, "No, you didn't." Oh, good. Um, so you let Sonata out. They wrestle around. Sonata gets chased in the Paradise Lock on the ropes. I love that version. I love that's a
Mhm.
really cool variation of it. Um, Sonata misses a plancha and gets run into the barricade 3 different times. Owens then pulls up the floor mats. He tries the package pile driver. Sonata gets out and he hits the magic screw. or he goes for the magic screw, but gets sent into the barricade by Chase, and Chase gets the DDT on the exposed floor, but they both get back in at 19.
Mhm.
The package pile driver stops. Chase hits a power bomb, then rolls Sonata into his own skull end, which was like, I'm like, ooh,
Oh,
but
snap.
Sonata gets to the rope. So he's now mastered the Paradise Lock. He's now mastered the skull end. Like, dang, this guy could be replacing Sonata soon. Chase removes a knee brace, but misses hitting Sonata, and Sonata gets the drop kick, but misses the moonsault, and the ref gets shoved, and this is where Chase hits him with the brace, but he only gets two. So he hits two C triggers, and then Sonata ends up, he goes for the pack power driver, but Sonata ends up dragging Rana-ing him into a pin for two. Then he follows up with the Shining Wizard, hits Deadfall, and Sonata is perfect in this tournament with 14 points. Chase finishes with 4. Sonata went 7 and 0. That is incredible.
Mhm, mhm. Considering his past records up until this point, yeah, it's very such an accomplishment for him. Considering, I always had such high hopes for him, but he'd always get to those main events or finals moments and just womp womp.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little disappointing. It's good to see him kind of championing through this. Um, I still feel that his title reign has been very lackluster, but this G1 and his performance in it has been kind of giving a little bit more life to it. I hope that he can continue the momentum with it going forward in whoever wins and what happens with that and who he starts feuding with in the meantime. Um, yeah, Che's adorable in this. Like he worked so hard, but like you're absolutely right. His celebration when he got him in the Paradise Lock was just like, "Aw,
Mm-hmm.
honey." This was a
Uh,
fun one, though. I
I
really did enjoy this.
and again, like it's the ones that Chase has been looking forward to the whole tournament. And I love the story they were telling that it was Chase trying to get to Sonata, and I was so looking forward to this match, and it didn't disappoint me. It wasn't this
Mhm,
long drawn out match, which I didn't really want it to be a long drawn out match. These
mhm,
two in the 9 minutes, I think it was 9 minutes and what was it, 13 seconds. I think captured everything they needed.
mhm.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So let's move on to the main event of night 13. It's Shota Umino versus Hikuleo.
Mhm.
Who the fuck thought Hikuleo would be one of the men vying for a top two spot on the final night of Block A? I know who. Boris.
I was gonna say whoever picked him in the.
I think it was Boris who picked Hikuleo. I think. Could be wrong, but I think. I think I'm
I
wrong.
know I didn't.
Yeah, I don't. Again, I'm not sure if it was Boris or not, but somebody picked him, and goddamn, because holy shit, this was a really, really good main event. Hikuleo
Mhm,
really showing the power advantage early. Umino trying to slam Hikuleo, but Hikuleo comes like crashing down on top of him. He's just tossing Umino around early. Umino starts working the knee, gets a running uppercut. Umino does eventually get the body slam. He goes to the top, hits the shotgun drop kick off the top. Hikuleo fights back, gets the splash in the corner, the hot shot, and then the lariat. And follows up with the vertical suplex, but only gets two. Umino, so Umino gets this double stomp as Hikuleo is going for the power slam. Holy shit, that was great. That was
mhm,
really good.
mhm.
But he can't get the ignition remix to ignition. I finally figured out what it is. It's Ignition by R. Kelly. I know he's a piece of shit, but goddamn, that's a beautiful song. And that's every time he hits the ignition, I think that goddamn remix to ignition song.
You're going
Correct.
back to the 90s.
I randomly texted to Mel today, and she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "That's the thing with Umino that I think of," and she just laughed. Um,
Yeah, I had no context. It was our typical text. We have no context. We just send each other random shit.
so, so he misses the ignition, but Hikuleo goes for the big boot, but he catches it and then pulls him down, gets the STF, and Hikuleo's like crawling to the apron, but Umino just stands up, brings back the center, and reapplies. But then Hikuleo just crawls to the apron and gets the ropes. Again,
Mhm.
really great spot. Double stomp to the back, and he go by Umino, goes out, and he hits the drive by, hits the final beat DDT, and sets up for Death Rider. But Hikuleo gets the power slam. Both men are down. Umino hits like 5 punches, and then Hikuleo just drops him with one. I was just like,
Mhm.
yep.
As he should.
Yeah, hard right by Hikuleo. Umino reverses and they get strikes and knees, gets the bridging German for two.
Mhm.
The boot stops ignition. And Hikuleo hits a power bomb, choke slam reversed into a DDT. Like just such a great match. Umino gets the remix to ignition. Everybody gets two. Enseguri by Umino, but Hikuleo stops the Death Rider, gets the lariat, choke slams reversed to the Sunset Flip for two. Umino gets another roll for two. Hikuleo ends up stopping the backslide, catches Umino with a power slam after, and then goes for the choke slam. Umino's fighting it off, but he gets the choke slam, and Hikuleo wins. And Hikuleo finishes this tournament with 8 points. Umino finishes with 6. Hikuleo is in the quarterfinals.
So what did we? Oh, we'll have to talk about this now because this was the main. Um, the young boys in Block A. I think I called it right, didn't I? I said Suji was going to be the more dominant of the three musketeers. He finished out with the most points, didn't he?
Well, at the end, so I'll get into points here in a minute. I'm going to do a point check in for everybody, but yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. But Suji did come out at the end with by 1 point. He's ahead of the other boys.
Saying, saying. That's the
Yep.
one thing I called right in this tournament. I'll take
Yeah.
it.
So after the match, Hikuleo helps Umino up and raises his hand. They get him a fist bump, and Hikuleo gets on the mic. He says him and Umino have many more times one on one,
Hmm.
right? Because again, they faced each other multiple times when they were over in England on New Japan Strong, lots of times.
Hmm. Hmm.
And he
Young
says,
boys.
This G1 is his. This is his fate. This is his destiny." And then he, in Japanese, he says he likes Osaka, and like Jado fed him the line too. Even Chris says that Jado whispers something in his ear, and he's like, "That had to be it."
Hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah,
Um, I really enjoy Hikuleo's music. That's the last thing I
yep.
wanted to add. His music just perfectly fits him. I like it.
It it really does. It really does. So we are going to give a quick point finish here. I'm going to make it big.
Wow.
So on top, you have Sonata 14-7. No, not lots of big old holes there on top. It looks really good.
Mm.
Hikuleo now 8 points. He is the second place. Then you have Suji with 7. Then you have Umino, Kiyomiya, and Ren Narita all with 6 points. Gabe Kidd with
Oh.
5. And sadly, Chase Owens in last with 4.
Yeah. But you got to admit, Chase Owens had a couple really impressive wins. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
went over Gabe Kidd when Gabe Kidd jumped him, too. That's pretty good. But then
Hmm.
a win over Hikuleo,
Yep.
over the one who was second in the block. Those are good wins. They're
Hmm.
good wins. Um, Gabe Kidd actually the one I'm surprised about. One half of the NJPW Strong Champions. And he's second from the bottom of the heap. That's interesting.
Yeah, it really is because like what was his? He has 2 wins, 4 losses, and a double count out
Mm.
with Gabe with
Kiyomiya,
Kyle.
yeah.
So again, it's again
Violence only solves half your problems, sir.
don't be such an angry little b word.
Shit. Don't be so sassy pants.
Yeah, take off those sassy pants and put on your normal ass pants.
Put on your war dog britches.
And there you go. So we're gonna move on. It's night number 14. We started out Kaito Kiyomiya and Ryohei Oiwa versus just five guys, Doki and Senada. In the end, Kaito takes out Doki, and Oiwa reverses the skull end into a skull spin, or reverses the skull end spin into a couple pinfalls, but Sonata gets the O'Connor roll all the way into the skull end, and Oiwa is forced to tap out.
Mhm. Mhm. Oh, he did tremendous in this match, though.
He really did.
Really, really enjoyed seeing him wrestling. Hate his haircut. Hate his haircut. He has that bad mullet where it's like not even like business in the front, party in the back. It's like business all around. He's pretty much got a bowl cut, and then the mullet bit sticking out from underneath it. It looks terrible, sir.
Anything to do with the mullet, it looks bad.
It looks terrible. He needs to take some advice from Just Five Guys and their Merrick shampoo. I'm sure they could teach him a thing or two. And Chris Charlton will come up with better lyrics, I'm sure. Um,
Go see your tag partner Kaito Kiyomiya and have him help you with their hair because Kiyomiya's hair is pretty good.
I mean, Kiyomiya is a very handsome gentleman, and his hair is very, very nice. But the points where he looks like a hedgehog that stuck his claw in an electrical socket, maybe not the best person to go to for hair advice. Kaido also a little bit sassy in this match. But the in-ring time that he had with both Doki and Sonata, very, very tremendous, very, very fun. And again, I feel like Oiwa was kind of the star of this one. He definitely got a lot more ring time, but I felt that he also got an opportunity to show off a little bit.
Sorry, I was muted. I was at the cough there. Oh yeah, very much. I thought Oiwa looked really, really good in this. Again,
So good.
he's trying to make Zack Sabre Jr. feel bad for not picking him.
Yeah, 100%. That's what you get, Zach.
That's the way I look at Oiwa now. He's bitter because Zack didn't pick him.
You know what? Maybe he'll end up in a team with Kaido and he'll be better for it.
You never know. You never know. We move on. Second match of the evening. It's Hiroshi Tanahashi and Tomohiro Ishii. Uh, 2/3 of I was going to say two halves, but 2/3 of the openweight 6-man champions versus TMDK's Kosei Fujita, the Ichiban Sweet Boy, and Mikey Nichols. Uh, Dude, that fucking DDT that Nicholas did, where Ishii was like on his head.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
where he was on his headstand for a little bit. Yeah, that was brutal.
that look rough. But the end comes Sling Blade by Tanahashi onto Fujita for 2. Then he applies the Clover Leaf and eventually does get the submission victory.
Hmm. So, what I wanted to mention about the 6-man champions here is these are arguably the two least cohesive members of this group, and it showed. I feel that it really showed. And then, did you hear the commentary from Chris and Kevin when Ishii and Tanahashi were coming out?
I don't remember it, but
So they mentioned that Ishii is actually the oldest entrant in the G1 Climax.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, not by the way Tanahashi's walking, my guy. It bothers me a lot and scares me a lot that Ishii is older than Tanahashi, but arguably wrestling a lot more fluidly and without pain, a little bit
Well,
more than Tanahashi.
there's also a big difference in the style. Both these guys worked for their entire careers. Like,
That's true, but I would arguably say that Ishii's a little rougher than Tanahashi. Tanahashi is the ace and he's the tremendous wrestling guy, but I feel like Ishii has a little bit more of that powerness that has his moves being a little bit more rougher on his body. And we do see some wear and tear on Ishii with that
oh,
elbow.
yeah. But
100%.
again, he's not coming off the top rope every night. He's not doing flips
No, he's
where
smart.
Tanahashi was. And
Yeah.
that's why the knees are so bad. That's why there's a lot of more wear and tear on
Mhm.
Tanahashi for doing planches to the floor and all this shit he did in his career. That's
Mhm.
why you see, like, Blue Justice moves better than Tanahashi at this point. God damn.
He does, but not not Tenzan.
No, that guy. I think that
No.
guy needs to stop.
There was one point also during the match where Tana was getting pretty worked over by Mikey Nichols and Kose Fujita.
Mm,
And Ishii giving him shit. What the frick are you doing? Get on something. Let's go. Yeah, again, it just goes loops back to it really does bother me a little bit.
mm-hmm.
He's got to do something about them knees. Give him a break. Give him some rehab. Give him some love. Give him some cookies. Give him
Show,
something.
show him the love.
Yeah, give him some flowers. Talk to Utami. It's the other ace you got there. See about getting them some flowers. You'll figure it out. But like,
Yeah.
rest those knees.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're good.
Yeah. So I wouldn't. I jumped a little early. We move on to another tag team match. It's Hiroyoshi Tenzan and Tama Tonga taking on the United Empire's Hanare and Jeff Cobb. This is where I really felt concerned about Tenzon. This match more than the other because he worked more of
Yes.
this one than he did the last one, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's moving worse than Tanahashi." I hope this
Mhm.
guy is if he's going to keep going, he's a very infrequent guest, and maybe he's on like a Legends contract with New Japan or something, where he's just going to
Mhm.
get paid and he can show up once on a blue moon to do a match. Because goddamn, and you're probably going to see him on the next two nights, which is makes me go, and probably on the semifinals and the finals. So it's just like,
Please take care of Tenzon.
yeah, yeah. The end of the match, Tenzon's hitting the Mongolian chops, hits a headbutt, but gets caught by Cobb. And Cobb, I think Cobb even kind of went a little more gingerly than normal on that tour of the islands, because
Yes.
he didn't come down slamming like he does with a guy like Tama Tonga. He came down like he still dropped the guy on his back, but it didn't look like as impactful as it usually does, in my
Mhm.
personal
Mhm.
opinion. And Jeff Cobb gets the win. Um, yeah, that's the biggest thing for me is it was a good match, but like Tenzon looked rough. He, yeah.
Yeah. And like again, he was calling his stuff, and he's like, "Yeah, brain buster." I'm like, "MRB."
We know
And then I'm
we know
like,
where he took
"That
it.
is not a brain buster, my guy. That is a straight up suplex." I may
Mm-hmm.
not know my shit, but I know my shit enough.
Yeah, because the
Um,
brainbusters drop is what Ishii does, dropping a guy down on his head.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tenzon does the alley oop. Um, that being said, though, I did have fun when in that center part when Tenzon was in there with Cobb.
Hmm.
I felt that they played off of each other very, very well. I'm not gonna lie though, Cobb's hair a little bit of a distraction for me in this match. Um, Having the little stringly wet green bits in front, and then the like pompadour poodle sitting on the back of his head there. I was like, what is happening right now? But it was a fun change. I find that Cobb does these fun little things that kind of like I think entertains himself a little bit, but also entertains his opponents and probably Hanare just as much also.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Like
I also
there's times where I see Cobb with Hanare, and he like Cobb is doing shit sometimes where I swear he's trying to get Hanare to break, but you can see Hanare like going keeping the serious face, but you can see him like move the lip, like move the jaw, like
He's trying. He's trying
yeah.
not to break. He does the same thing with Naito too. Naito has
Mm-hmm.
done that a few times too with him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, um, the time that Hanare and Tama were also in, I really, really enjoyed that kind of little face off there. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this one was fun.
So we move on to the semi-main event of the undercard. It's Eddie Kingston and Togi Makabe versus the Bullet Club's Chase Owens and David Finley with Gato.
Ooh.
In the end, I don't really have much. In the end, Makabe and Finley are trading strikes, but Finley hits two rolling elbows, and he hits the forearm to the back of the head for two. Then he hits the Trash Panda for the win.
Oh, so salty, so salty. Um, I felt there wasn't a whole ton of Eddie Kingston in this one. I felt that Makabe was the predominant
Hmm.
a person in on this match, and I'm not mad about it.
No,
Saves Kingston for his match. I believe it was with Finley coming
and
up.
I love the pairing of Makabe with Kingston. Who's
Yeah,
like,
they worked.
well, it just the style of Makabe just works with the
Well,
style of Eddie Kingston. Like, their styles are so similar in that the fact that like they beat the shit out of people.
yeah, yeah. I think they were united in that cause because I didn't
Hmm.
catch any tension, but I didn't catch any like terribly close camaraderie with them either. It just kind of worked. Um, Finley and Chase seem to be working pretty okay together.
Hmm.
Um, when I first like saw that it was going to be Bullet Club, I was like, "Is it going to be Chase?" Would make sense. I kind of don't really want to see Gabe Kidd and Coughlin teaming with anyone other than each other,
Hmm.
just so it adds some more solidification to their tag team thing that
Yeah.
they're doing. I felt that Makabe did really, really well though against Makabe and Finley.
Hmm.
I had a lot of fun with her exchanges. Anyway, the one thing that I did notice with Kingston that I had fun with Finley was the chop in the corner, and then when Eddie's kind of like, really, yeah, that's what you're gonna hit me with. I felt that it added something to Finley because again, he'd been pretty nonchalant and very subtle with his
Hmm.
animation and selling at this point. That actually brought out some personality in him a little bit. So I kind of dug that. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Good little match.
Mm-hmm.
And then this happened. 8-man tag match. LIJ, Bushi, Takagi, Naito, and Tsuji versus House of Torture's Dick, Togo, Evo,
Little Dick.
Sho, and Yujiro. All right, I'm just gonna go to the finish here. Um, and this is me using Kevin, like Kevin Kelly was calling it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Dick choking Naito, but he slips out, and Suji hit. But Naito slips out. It's the corner splash. Suji takes out Yujiro and sends Sho into the code breaker of Bushi. Shingo elbow to the dick, and Naito hits Naito hits the Bushi assisted tornado DDT to the dick. And Kevin Kelly is literally calling it just like this. Naito hits the dick with Destino, and to quote Kevin Kelly, the dick is down. And Naito picks up the win. I love
Yeah,
Kevin Kelly so fucking much.
there was a lot of dicking in this one. A lot of dicking.
And that was just the last
Um,
like minute.
yeah, a little bit much, a little bit much.
Oh.
Um, I actually took. I didn't take a ton of notes, but I took some notes on this one. Bushi taking a lot of punishment at the beginning of this match from members of House of Torture, which it is. Yeah, that's what we got to deal with. I actually felt that the time with Suji and Yujiro was actually really, really good, really, really entertaining. I felt that they played off each other really well. Must have been that like CMLL kind of thingamajiggy in the back.
Mm.
Um, yeah. What else? Togo getting the DDT of Shingo's combo, which we usually, um, which usually sometimes goes back and forth between the DDT or the lariat there. So nice to see a Dick getting down. Um, yeah, what else did I have here? Yeah, I had fun with the commentary at the end of this, but my God, Kevin, my God, Kevin, it's hard enough with Gabe Kidd, just doing his shit and opening his mouth with his jargon and darpa derpa darpa doo, whatever it is that he's screaming at you.
Mm-mm.
The
Yeah,
dicks.
yeah. And then at the end of the match, Evil tries to shave the head of Shingo, but he can't. And Chris yells, "Shave him bald, Shingo!" So is this setting up the Shingo versus Evil on the final night of their block?
Yes.
Is one of them gonna get their head shaved after the match if they
I
lose?
believe there was something said about the what is it, the things that they do, the conference, or like the
Press conference or whatever.
yeah, the press conference that they did. He said if Shingo beat him, he would shave his head. So now he's trying to be shenanigans because that's what evil does, trying to shave Shingo's head. So if
Interesting.
Shingo beats evil, there's a strong possibility that evil might shave his head, and I'm kind of for it.
Yeah, change up the look.
It's been a while. It's been a hot minute since we've had a hair versus hair match
And
in
you can't
NJPW. I think the last one was Suzuki and Goto, wasn't it?
something like that. And you can't make evil look worse than he currently does.
Challenge accepted.
I want to see him bald because that would be interesting. We move on into the block match. It's Kenta, Mel's favorite wrestler in the world, versus Yoshihashi, Mel's second favorite wrestler in the world.
What?
I'm joking, obviously.
My guy.
Kenta poses to the crowd, so Yoshihashi poses. Then Kenta tells him to do it again. This is where he attacks from behind. They end up on the floor. Kenta runs Yoshi into the barricade a few times, kicking him in the spine. And then they're back in the ring, and Kenta's like squeezing the face of Yoshi, just like, yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
he's like, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? It was weird. He gets some kicks, reverses the Yoshihashi lariat into a DDT. Yoshihashi fights back with a drop kick to the knee, gets a running chop in the corner, hits the other strikes, hits a headhunter. He hangs Kenta up on the ropes, hits the drop kick in the ropes. Kenta keeps trying to run Yoshi into the ref, like tries it, misses. Tries it again, but misses. And he finally runs Yoshi into the ref on the third try and hits the DDT to Yoshihashi. Kenta then gets the kendo stick, unloads shots on Yoshi, as he's done pretty much every single match.
Mhm.
Um, Kenta goes to get the pole of Yoshihashi, his staff, or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Bow staff
Um,
or something?
bow staff. I thought that's what Goto's was, but whatever. Um, of Yoshihashi's, and Yoshi dodges, and Kenta hits the rope, and the stick bounces back and hits him in the forehead, dropping
Yeah,
him.
and like the big deal about that was that it's supposed to be iron plated on the
Well,
ends there.
yeah.
So he would have knocked himself with the iron plated part as opposed to just the wood stuff, which would hurt enough on its own.
Oh, very much so. Very, very much so.
Hmm.
So Lariat in the corner and the running powerbomb by Yoshi, but he only gets two. Yoshi hitting shots, but Kenta gets the palm strike, just cracking him with those palm strikes. Like,
So nasty.
then hits the Buseko knee for two.
Hmm.
Strikes and kicks to the head by Yoshi. Hits the Kumaguru. Yoshi but only gets two. Karma is stopped, but the low blow is then stopped by Kenta. Is this low blow stopped? Yoshi hits a super kick, hits a lariat, goes for Karma, and I'm thinking, motherfucker, Yoshihashi's going to be Kenta here. Kenta gets the inside cradle and steals Mel 2 more points.
It was the least he could do for the shitty performance that he's been giving me up until this point.
Yeah, so Kenta finished the tournament with 6 points. Yoshi finishes with four. So just know that Kenta finished ahead of Yoshihashi.
And Yoshihashi looks as perplexed as anybody does in that regards. In this picture, my goodness.
Yeah,
Oof. Yeah, did you when they were on the outside, did you hear what Kevin yelled at Kenta?
I don't remember. I
He
didn't
is
notice.
just a treasure. Does Yoshihashi owe you money? And you can hear Chris Charlton give
Uh,
him shit.
well, it's
He's
because of
like,
how hard he
"What?
was
I'm just
kicking him and
asking
shit.
questions."
Yeah, because it was hard he was kicking him. He was beating him like he owed him money or something. I think that was the
Yeah.
joke. Yeah.
Kevin is just a treasure. I love
I
him on
love Kevin.
commentary.
I love Kevin. I love him so
Um,
much.
I really enjoyed Yoshihashi's comeback at the end there when we thought that he was going to pick up that win. He really did fire up. We saw that G1 Yoshihashi take hold. And yeah, but Kenta, those strikes are just so unnaturally hard and quick. He's
Yeah.
so fast. He's just so good. And he's fairly small. You wouldn't suspect that he's going to nail you as hard as he does, but like, he's got some Suzuki-esque strikes there, let me tell you. I was happy with this win.
Yeah.
I was happy.
I thought it was really really good. I think these two like really killed it. Like
Mhm,
for a match where neither man could go to the finals, they really did some good stuff.
mhm, 100%.
So we get into this one. So this one, Taichi, if he wins, is in contention if Osprey doesn't win his match.
Mhm.
Khan's fucking picture there, though. Jesus.
Brutal, right? Love it.
Khan with the wrestling to start, getting the upper hand on Taichi, kicks to the back, by Taichi to stop the German. Gets the Kawada kicks, but Khan picks him up and toss him over the top of the floor. And
Mhm.
then runs Taichi into the barricade. Then again at Chris and Kevin, like right at them. And I'm just like, no. And Chris literally jumped out of his seat.
He
Like he
did.
jumped out of his seat. It was great. And this won't be the first time. It won't be the
No.
last time. He slams him into the apron and starts trying to damage his arm in the barricade. Khan really working that arm triangle choke throughout this match. He really went back to it
Mhm.
a bunch. Taichi working the thrust kicks, running boots. He pulls off the pants and gets the hammerlock.
Dance.
Gets the hammerlock guillotine in, guillotine choke in, and takes him to the mat. But Khan does get to the ropes. Taichi with the Fujiwara armbar, then transitions into the straight armbar, but Khan gets to the ropes again. Just really good back and forth with these guys. Good kicks from Taichi throughout. Taichi goes for the super kick, but takes Khan, but then instead of the super kick, just takes him down with like a double leg hold, and they end up
Mhm.
trading hold. They trade holds, and each gets a heel hook in. They're like pulling back, and one's just like then he'll pull back, and the other one will go and it was and they both like crawl to the ropes together, and they each grab
Mhm.
the rope. It was so funny. I really
Yeah.
liked the fact that they did the dueling heel hooks.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
trade strikes in the center. Taichi gets a Gamengiri. Bakan gets the STO into an arm triangle choke. He's got really good leverage, but Taichi gets up, but is slammed back down into the hold, and the hold gets tighter and tighter, and Taichi eventually has to tap out before he is choked out. So Khan finishes the tournament with 6. Thank you, Khan, for 6 points. And Taichi finishes the tournament with 6.
Nice. Yeah. This was a fun match. There was a tremendous back and forth between these two. And again, the beginning of this G1, Okan was very, it wasn't what we expected out of
No.
Great Okan. These last, I would say the last three matches, especially, we've seen him resort back to this Mongolian Death Lord kind of thing with the question mark and the zombie walk and everything. And this is, I think, where we've seen the Great Okan kind of go back to what it is that he knows works. And we've
Mhm.
seen that adaptability start to come through again in his matches. And Tai Chi was no different. I really enjoyed this. Wasn't Tai Chi calling Okan out also at one point?
I think he was.
Yeah, giving him shit just like as I think Chris and Kevin were saying, just as he had done to Sonata
Mhm.
in the New Japan Cup tournament beforehand. It really did seem to light that fire under Great Khan, which kind of brought him back into the match and ended up with the upset over Tai Chi. So maybe Tai Chi stop calling people out. He'll do a little bit better. But yeah, this
Yep.
one was fun. I was really happy Okan got this one.
Yeah, I thought really, really strong match too. And Okan got me 6 points overall in this tournament, so I'm happy.
Yay.
Uh, we get to the semi-main event. It's Kazuchika Okada versus Tangaloa with Jado. This now match now has a meme going around the internet of I've seen it posted by a few fans of Tangaloa. You know his like short punch and throat chop, short punch, throat chop.
Yes, yes, I call it the sword hammer.
The sword hammer usually looks great when somebody sells for it. Um, Fucking Okada. We'll get to that. Loa gets a few roll ups early. He gets the like a chop to the throat, sending Okada to the floor. Loa goes after him, but Okada gets the DDT, then sends Loa into and over the guardrail.
Hmm.
And this is where Okada became the biggest heel in the goddamn match. He clears
Yeah.
the English desk. Well, for me personally, he was already a heel, but he clears the English desk and then slams Loa into the table, breaking the table, taking out English commentary, and the crowd is booing this man like hardcore for this.
Well, this is Osaka, isn't it?
Yeah,
Osaka is a very, very teeter-totter crowd. They will turn on you just
yeah.
like that.
so they're getting to like 18. And Okada just like fuck this, and he pulls up Loa in. He's like, I don't want to win by count out. Um, Okada gets a
Mhm.
DDT in the ring. Loa fights back, slamming Okada into the corner, unloading shots, and Okada gets his own shots. But Loa hits a spear. Um, this is where Loa does the slam hammer. Is that what you call it? Or
Sword hammer.
sword hammer. I like slam hammer better.
Because it looks like he does a chop and a punch, but like
Yeah.
he kind of doesn't make a full fist. He kind of just does
Well,
this.
he's doing this to the throat, like a chop
Yeah,
to the
he's doing a
throat.
full throat, but in the gut, it looks like he's not making a full fist. He's just kind of
Tiger, tiger claw.
sure, why not?
So I call like that makes me think of a movie. The new guy, Tiger Claw. I think that's where it's from. And Okada isn't selling it for shit, and that's what really made it look bad. Okada just started backing up. He didn't like go and then He wasn't selling getting hit. He was just like mm, as he
Yeah,
backed,
he just kind of moved back into the corner. Yeah, I noticed that also. Yeah.
and that made that look like shit. If you don't sell for a guy, it makes it look like shit. And Okada really did make that move look like shit.
Mhm.
Uh, Lola gets a release German out of the corner. Okada escapes to the floor, but Lola he goes for the DDT again on the floor, but Lola ends up in the backdrop uh, to reverse the DDT and a lariat on the floor. Lola gets the Eddie Guerrero senton back in and hits the Blue
Mhm.
Thunder Bomb for two. Okada slips out of ape shit into the money clip, but Loa runs him into the corner. Okada gets Loa up, and he does hit him with the air raid crash neckbreaker, and Loa rolls out to the floor. Okada tosses him. Wait, I wrote Osprey in here for some reason. I'm gonna skip that part.
Wishful
Um,
thinking.
yeah, Okada gets wrist control in the ring, but misses the lariat, and Loa gets an enziguri and the swinging uranagi for two. The end of the match comes. Okada slips out of apeshit into a backslide, into a short arm lariat, another sets up for Rainmaker, but Loa fights it off. Okada gets a lariat and strikes, but Loa hits the headbutt. Okada hits a drop kick, and then they trade strike. Loa gets his own drop kick, but Okada slips out of apeshit, hits landslide, hits Rainmaker, gets the win. Okada finishing this tournament 6-1. His only loss is to Osprey, and he finishes with 12 points, and Tangaloa finishes with 6 points.
Yes. I actually thought this was a pretty good match overall.
Mm-hmm.
The yeah, the headshot on Tongaloa though through the table, he not only didn't like just do it once, he did it twice, which really got the crowd going. Because the first time he just bounced his head off of it. The
Mm-hmm.
second time was when he actually broke the table and subsequently apparently Chris Charlton's monitor.
No, because
Um,
Chris did say after he had grabbed his monitor when they came near them, he pulled his monitor off the table. It was
oh,
Kevin's monitor that fell.
oh no. Wow, well, it's always going out on him anyway. Um,
Oh.
yeah, Okada bringing Tongaloa back in to not lose to the count out, like or to have the count out win, I appreciated. Even though he is a heel, that was still a nice little sportsmanship thing that I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed seeing. When Tonga fired up for the end there, and he went for the ape shit the second time, I thought he was gonna get it. I really did. I was like, oh my god, they're gonna upset us or upset Okada on this a second time, but nay nay, they say nay nay. It was still
Mm-hmm.
a really fun ride though. But you're
I
absolutely right. The no sell on the sword hammer was not cool.
Yeah, but and again, Loa has coming out of this. He has a legitimate shot at the U.S. title because
Hmm. Hmm.
yes, it's a win by countout, but it's still a win over the champ. So we'll see
Hmm.
what
That is
happens.
true.
Main event of the evening. Oh my god, the fucking face on ELP. He's so like
Giggling.
versus Osprey's.
Yay!
It's like the versus the It's
It's
kind
the
of,
he versus the
it was essentially this match essentially.
Mhm.
Um, so if Osprey wins, he's in.
Mhm.
At 10 points, he gets second. If ELP wins, he's at 8 points, and he officially it has a tiebreaker over Osprey, and ELP would be in. So again, it's win and get in.
Mhm.
Uh, when the wide shot is like zoomed in on Osprey posing in the corner, ELP gets up and does the heart. I laughed so freaking hard. Fuck yeah, that was
Yeah.
funny shit. Uh, absolute
So good.
genius. Genius timing for ELP to know to get up there.
Oh yeah.
Like that guarantee you that was not a planned spot. And ELP's just like, I'm gonna try this, and it worked perfectly. They fist bump before the bell. So I wrote down, ELP is an Empire member. I think that could work. They seem to be pretty chill with each other before the match, so you never know. Maybe he could be he could start the Canadian branch of the Empire.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it, but it's like I feel like there's maybe another faction that could probably benefit from having him in there.
Lij, okay, yeah.
No,
Oh, just six guys.
Jesus Christ.
What? Who?
I think that he would be a good aerial fit to offset all of the power in GOD. I think it's time for GOD to become its own faction separate from Hantai. He's already got affiliations with them. Why the heck not?
Yeah,
You
the
got
gorilla.
three power guys, and then you have one aerial guy there. You just need to find a junior. You're good.
Yeah, and then you got the gorillas of Phantasmo. There you go.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So let's get into this match. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, this was
Get into
so
this match,
good.
sir.
ELP with the drop kick early, the head scissors, but Osprey runs up the aisle to avoid the dive, and the crowd just like, and they're just chanting ELP, ELP, because it's like he got kind of got the upper hand on Osprey. Osprey hot shots ELP, like he tosses him up and he comes down into the ropes on the hot shot. It looked great, and he boots him to the floor. And as Chris would say, hits an aggressive plancha. That's how Chris called it. He said it was an aggressive plancha. So I was just like, huh, okay, I don't know how to make it aggressive. Chops on the floor by Osprey, chokes ELP on the barricade, and hits the elbows to the neck. Osprey's hard strikes are just creaming ELP, but ELP strikes are not doing much to Osprey. So he tries to nipple hold, but can't get, but does nothing. So Osprey chops him down in the corner. He takes him to the center, snap mares him, and gets the carot and starts really working the neck over. Um, ELP striking back, but Osprey gets the cravat again, but ELP fights out. ELP gets a beautiful satellite DDT. Um, it looked really, really good.
Mhm.
ELP kips up, the lariat, the inverted atomic drop, the regular atomic drop, the leg sweep, and then the forearm off the second for two. Osprey gets the backflip kick and the enziguri, followed by the handspring corkscrew kick. Man, I took a lot of notes in this. Um,
Live your best life, my friend.
ELP hitting that beautiful springboard swanton and then into the lion cell, but only gets two. They're trading strikes in the center. Osprey gets a hard Kawada kicks, but ELP's back with boots. Then they're stomping him in the corner. Osprey comes back with a hard strike to the chest, and then in the super kick, but ELP collapses into the ropes. Like it's just Osprey goes for Oscar on the apron, but gets stopped. He gets run into the pole, and it's a loud ding off the pole. Like it was loud. Um, and then they trade move attempts. Osprey hits a hook kick and hits the Oscar on the apron, hurting himself at the same goddamn time, and both men collapse to the floor. Osprey gets in, but ELB collapses, but he does make it in at 19. And Osprey comes off the top of the springboard for him, and sudden death super kick. Look, just great. Like Michaels and Benjamin super like the super kick to the flying guy. So good. And then he hits Thunder Kiss 86, but takes too long to get the pin, so he only gets two. Then he hits the UFO style burning hammer, but again only gets two. ELP then tunes up the death. That's what I like to say with him because it's sudden death. but Osprey catches it. They trade strikes, but and then Osprey hits the Spanish Fly. Both men are down. Again, there's a lot. um, Hook kicks by Osprey, but ELP hits a poison Rana, hits sudden death. Osprey kicks at 2.9, and this place is fucking loud. This place
Mhm.
is cheering. ELP goes to the top, hits a springboard tornado DDT, but again, only two. ELP sets up CR2, but gets popped up into a forearm, and Osprey hits a hook kick. ELP hits the backslide out of the Oscutter attempt. He misses. Osprey misses Hidden Blade, and ELP gets an ELP clutch, but again, only two. Rolling elbow by Osprey. ELP hits the Dragon Rana into the pin, and then ELP hits the Oscutter. Then CR2, and I'm like, no fucking way. And Osprey kicks that 2.9. I'm like, thank fucking God, because like you can't beat a guy with his own goddamn move.
Well, I
ELP
mean, you
puts Osprey.
can,
You
but
can't, but so ELP puts Osprey up top, but Osprey slips out, goes for cheeky nandos, but ELP mule kicks him. And ELP springboards in, but Osprey gets a cutter. Well, to ELP coming out of the corner. Osprey then hits the Os cutter for two. Osprey sets up, hits Hidden Blade, but then ELP kicks out at like 2.9. So Osprey picks him up. I'm thinking Stormbreaker, yells Storm Driver, and drops him on his head with a Storm Driver 93 and gets the win. Osprey ends with 10 points. ELP ends with 6. This is my goddamn match of the round robin tournament. 4.75 stars. That's what I wrote.
this was a great match. Yeah, you said it all, my friend. We pretty much got a play by play on that, and man, it doesn't even like it was so exciting. The
Mm-hmm.
room was electric when this match was going on. And you're absolutely right. We were seeing this kind of like almost goofy esque, over animated kind of styling of ELP that we're used to. And we were seeing that kind of not moody broody Osprey, but like we were borderline. We're getting there. This
Mm-hmm.
moody broody Osprey has more titles. Um, yeah, this I think we saw this was the most aerials I think we've seen Osprey do in a hot minute. Like he has his aerial moves, but usually he doesn't do all of them in one match. He usually kind of spreads them out over a couple
Mm.
matches and stuff like that. He kind of went back to his aerial roots in this one. We almost had what I would call like a super junior heavyweight match,
Well,
and I loved it.
well, look at the guy he's facing. A guy who just came up from the juniors the year before. So
Well,
like,
yeah, and then
and
Osprey not too long ago himself was in the Super Juniors.
and when they faced off with each other in the back in England, they were both juniors at the time, just
Hmm.
flying around. So not surprised. I'm really not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a little surprising with Osprey because he has kind of sort of gone away a little from the aerial roots and kind of gotten into this heavyweight kind of era of his. It's nice to see him pull out some of the old stuff while he still can. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like the sportsmanship after the match also.
Oh yeah. They fist bump out of the match. Osprey says, "Looks like you have your in Japanese. He says, looks like you have your own you have new fans, ELP." And he says they faced a bunch of times before. You're swimming with a great white shark, but Osaka wants you to keep swimming. May we meet again, El Phantasmo. Then he goes to the crowd. Just one question: who's the best wrestler in the world? And he puts the mic out, and they all chant Will Osprey, which is right. Um, he's tired and battered, and I'm thinking, I swear to God, he was going to do the CM Punk line, and I'm working with children, but he didn't, and he says, but he will continue to fight for the new era. We are the new era. We're in a new. This is a new test, and he will win the G1 Climax. I'm paraphrasing a lot of what he said. I didn't write it word for word, um, because he is Will Ospreay, and he is on another level. So good. Again, I'm very biased because he's my favorite, but so good.
Hey, but you know, there's people who talk and then there's people who talk and walk. And Will Ospreay has overwhelmingly shown and proven over that last at least decade of his career. He's not only talking the talk, he's walking the walk. He does what he says he's going to do, or he
Hmm.
will die trying. Um, Hopefully not, but but yeah, really really fun main event. Holy hot damn! Good for both of
Hmm.
these guys. I was
I thought,
really entertained by this.
man, I'm putting it's in my top 10. I know that for goddamn sure. It might be top five at this point, but so give a quick point update. You have Yoshihashi with 4, Taichi, Okan, Kenta, Tangaloa, and El Phantasm with 6. And going to the finals, you have Will Ospreay going in as the second seed, and you have Okada going in as the first seed for the B block.
Hmm.
Man, I'm excited to see what the finals bring us, the quarterfinals and the semifinals and the finals, because it's going to be a hell of a tournament. And
Yeah.
if it takes Matthew Edward winning our little tournament for Will Ospreay to win the G1, I am perfectly okay with that.
We will make these sacrifices.
Hmm. Again, but that was an incredible show, incredible two shows. Like,
Hmm.
oh,
So
and
good.
it's only going to get better because we'll be back probably on Thursday, record hopefully or Thursday or Friday,
Hmm.
talking about nights number 15 and 16, which are the final two round robin block matches of C and D, and then we'll be back throughout the weekend into next week talking about the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals. We got lots
Hmm.
coming at you, ladies and gentlemen.
So much. And then we've got the Grand Prix in that too.
And we also have Grand Prix matches that will be coming out probably at the trail end of this week. We'll be having at least this past weekend's shows once they're up on Certain World. We'll be checking those out and
Hmm.
giving you the lowdown on that. So lots of great content. I'm actually okay with the G1 ending so that we can put more time into the Stardom shows. So
Yes. Yes. Some of those undercard matches look pretty good, actually.
hmm
And I would like
hmm
to see more of Megasis.
yeah, I thought the first couple nights in there looked really good. So,
Hmm.
but we are going to get out of here. So,
Hmm.
you can find me, this guy, that Canada guy, on X, Mastodon, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Hive at that Canada guy, Instagram and Threads at that Canada dude. You can find me at youtube.com/Andre and Melba Wrestling Talk. You can find me on our Facebook page at Andre and Melba Wrestling Talk on Facebook. You can find me there. You can find me over every now and again, popping up on our local establishment. You can find them at twitch.tv/our local establishment. You can watch my preview that I did for SummerSlam if you haven't watched it already, if you want to check that out. Or you can check out all the recap shows we did for Secret Invasion. If you haven't watched it yet, check out what we had to say afterwards. Um,
Hmm.
and then you can also. I also want you to check out our boy Mike the Ref. You might be watching us there right now. If you're not, go over to youtube.com/at backbreaker video and check out all the great wrestling content over there. Check out all his live stuff at twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. I was just watching him play some MLB earlier this evening before we jumped on here. And then if you want to see all the recaps of his great gaming content, go to youtube.com/backbreaker_gaming and you can check out all the great gaming content from him. Uh, PJC. That's the reaction I kind of used to have for PJC. Rick Jules and their special guest, Kayla J. So
Kayla J.
please check all that out. Melball, where
Yeah.
can they find you, madame?
If you're wanting to follow a Melba, you can follow her on that X thing, apparently, as it's called now, at Collins Melba, or you can follow her on Facebook,
TikTok.
TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Mastodon, and Melba Collins. My goodness. You
Well,
can also find me on our local establishment's programming, Paramindful. We release every other Monday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time with Alex the Werewolf and the gold standard, Carl we just released our video earlier today, which is Monday at 5 on aliens. Apparently, they're real now, you guys, and we had to talk about it. So, again, you can catch that on our local establishment. You can also catch me at Astro Pizarro's YouTube channel for our show Ladies Wrestling Showcase. We just had a fun episode last Friday where we were talking about the AEW locker room, and Astro Pizarro's um, article there caused quite a stir on the X thing. On the what do we call this thing now? It's not the Twitterverse, is it the Extraverse?
Yeah, the X verse. I don't know.
Well, anyway, it was on there and it was crazy. We had
Mm-hmm.
some fun. Come on, give us a listen. I think that's everything.
New
My
Japan
friend.
World.
Oh, yeah, if you're wanting to watch NJPW, we will leave a link in the description box below. It is njpwworld.com. You got a ticker for me so I don't forget now. It is 999 yen, or approximately $7.15, because it has the thing on the actual website now that tells you in the corner how much you're going to be paying.
There you go.
$7.15, or approximately, like, we're gonna say $10 Canadian because we like Sean Spears.
John
Yay!
Spears, baby.
um, yeah, go watch some Japanese wrestling. That's a pretty good price for a month of worth of amazing G1 content. That being said, my friend, do you have anything else to say to me, people?
Nah, that's about it. But I want to say thank you, Salsa, very much for tuning in here. Please like the video, subscribe down below, hit the comments. All the great fans we have here on the channel. I really do appreciate all of you. So please hit the comments and leave us some feedback, because we want to hear from you. We want to know what you love, what you don't love, what you love about me, what you don't love about Melball. You know, all that stuff. I kid. Nobody could not love anything about you. Come on.
Rude. Rude.
But we are, and I want to say thank you, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a New Japan World, New Japan Puroresu review, a Stardom review, or a Chop Talk, or anything else we decide to drop on the channel.
Ding dong.
Hello.
And that being said, everyone, I am your Melba. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time. Adios.